everyone. Can you hear me? I haven't done YouTube live stream for a while. Actually, I do live stream every week in my 3 months pronunciation bootcamp. So I do live stream every week, but I'm now just using OBS to do the stream on YouTube. So I'm not sure what's going on. Is it working? Is there anyone watching? Well, if there's anyone, please say hello，说一声你好，让我知道你在看，你能看见我。Can you hear me? Can you see me? Please let me know. Hey, yeah, the chat box is open, right? So if you are watching, oh, I can see there are 13 people watching. So you are very welcome to say hello. Cherry Map, 你好，你好，你好。Oh, Daniel is here. Yay! Awesome. Thank you. Wow, you have watched my stream for 3 hours just now, and you are not tired of my voice because I just had 3 hour live stream because it's the closing live stream for our 12-week pronunciation bootcamp. It was a great journey and a long journey. But yeah, I'm really happy with the result that the students get in only a few months in terms of their pronunciation and tones and everything. They just sound so much better. Like, wow. And I'm really happy this bootcamp format works. Like, it cannot be better. Like, it works really well. So I'm pretty happy with that, and I was so excited. So we had a 3 hour live stream, like 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Yeah, on Eastern time in the US. But anyways, yeah. So now, since we just wrapped up the pronunciation bootcamp, where I put so much time, effort, and energy in, and now I'm back on YouTube. Everyone, hi, I'm back. Okay, just wanna let everyone know. Okay, I'm not really away because I've been trying to make videos, as you have seen. I just posted a video 2 days ago, right? And I hope enjoy it. And I see people agree, disagree. Most people agree. But anyways, I just want to bring up this topic and to just start more discussions, more, I guess, deeper discussions about it. Because I think there are a lot of issues about comprehensible input or this more passive learning method that have long been ignored or just missed out in the conversations or discussions. Anyways, I'm back, and I'll definitely do more streams on the YouTube because now I think I feel pretty comfortable doing live stream, and it's just so much easier than making a educational, informative, while entertaining and fun video. I mean, I like talking. I can just keep talking, and I'll never be tired of talking about Chinese language, Mandarin learners, and everything. So I definitely wanna talk with you more, because I think this is just the most direct way to talk to my viewers, my audience. So yeah, I'll definitely do it more. So now I'm just gonna do it on the weekend, probably on Sunday. But also I love to try maybe workday nights in the US time. Yeah, but I don't know if it works for many people. I don't know where you are, and you can tell me in the chat box where are you from, where are you based in now. And what do you want me to talk more in the future streams? So I decided to talk about, of course, thanks for everyone who picked your option in the poll that I posted on the YouTube community. And obviously, most people chose this one. Let me see. What should I do? What am I doing? Who am I? Yeah. So we're gonna watch this stand-up comedian who is from Beijing. His name is House. His stage name is House. So obviously he's been super controversial recently, right? And as a long-time Chinese stand-up comedy audience, because basically it started around early 2010s, and I started watching live stand-up comedy in Beijing back in 2015, and that was pretty early, compared to most Chinese audience. That's when it started to have a community or have a underground culture of it, because there were more stand-up comedians who had the stage to do performance, to do the comedies. But it was pretty underground. It was kind of similar, like it reminds me of Chinese hip-hop music, the Chinese rap. So that definitely started earlier. So when I went to college in Sichuan, in Chengdu, the capital of Sichuan province, back in 2006. Yeah, I'm old. That's when this culture, this music genre, really started to be popular, but it's still a 100% underground scene or an underground culture. And the stand-up comedy definitely started a lot later. Yeah, and just like Chinese rap music, it was brought to the mainstream culture by a few TV shows, like this one. This is 脱口秀大会. So 脱口秀, I should put it there. All right, I just started talking about some language, okay, if you don't mind, because yeah, I can't help it. So what do I want to say? 脱口秀, right? Okay, so 脱口秀 is the most common translation of stand-up comedy in Chinese. Okay, so 脱, you can see my iPad, right? 脱口秀. Still, I'm not too good. Oh, it's pink. Let me change the color. Yeah, maybe red is better. So 脱口秀 is the most used translation for stand-up comedy. And I know in their world, the Chinese stand-up comedy scene, the comedians tend to call it 单口喜剧. So like monologue comedy. 单口喜剧. And 喜剧 is comedy. It's literally the equivalence of comedy. 喜剧 in Chinese. 单口喜剧. But I for some reason, maybe just more people started calling it 脱口秀, because there's a 成语脱口而出. 脱口而出. So it emphasizes the improvise of the of this kind of performance. And also there was another source of this translation is 脱口秀 sounds like talk show. I think this translation came from Hong Kong or Taiwan. 脱口秀. And yeah, I guess people just keep using it. So now more people, especially the audience of this kind of popular TV shows, they just call it 脱口秀. Yeah, but more professional. The professionals would call it 单口喜剧, this one. Yeah. But anyways, so this show is called 脱口秀大会. 大会is a huge conference meeting stuff. So 脱口秀大会 is the show's name, and it's super popular. It's like Rap of China, like the TV show that brought the whole underground Chinese rap scene into the mainstream. And this 脱口秀大会is like the same thing to the Chinese underground stand-up comedy scene. Yeah, so just a little background about the Chinese stand-up comedy and the comedians, and also like Chinese rap song, because of the background and root of the culture. It's hard to do it in the environment, right? But I also kind of surprised that this show has been so popular for so long time. But of course, this is like writing and all the creative writing, right? Like there are always different ways to express yourself or your ideas. So it's just an art of using the language, right? And I believe it can make really good Mandarin learning materials for a lot of people. 声音很小. Oh, is it? 声音很小. Can you hear me? 我的声音很小还是他的声音很小? But is it my volume low or the video's volume is super low? Because Alexandra says 声音很小, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure if you are saying my voice or the video's voice, or both. 我的声音很小. 是吗? 现在呢? 现在好一点吗? That's weird. Is it still low? I can, because on the phone I hear you fine. On mobile phone, but super low. Overall low on PC. That's weird. Video is low too. Maybe, yeah. Maybe I should. What about now? Because there are different sound output modes, so they may make a difference. What about now? Better? 好点了. Okay, good. So slightly better. not very good. It sounds a bit better now. You sound louder. I sound louder. Okay. Let me just play the video and let me know if you can hear it. Okay. What about a video? Okay, Anthony says I can hear you very well. Good. And what about video? I just played played a short clip. Can you hear it at all? Compared to my pronunciation, a little better now. You can now hear the video. 完全听不到 What? That's not good. I mean, video is frozen. No, yeah. I'm gonna. Yeah, I think now it's working.
我讨厌比赛。去年我就是鲁莽的挑战了小北，被草率的淘汰了。你们没在台上比过，可能确实不太了解。比赛啊，很容易输的。人生也是啊。过去的1年，我啥也没干，调整了1年的心态，尝试过瑜伽、冥想、心理咨询。
Now working, right? Good, awesome. Yeah. I finally see the volume is moving now. And I'm just gonna speak louder, okay? And I'll fix it later. Because obviously I'm not a technology person. I'm trying, okay? I'll keep trying. Yeah, give me some time. Okay. Anyways, all right, good. So both are working. Good. Right. So back to the background about the Chinese stand-up comedy. So it's usually just called 脱口秀 nowadays. And this show is called 脱口秀大会, like I just said. Yeah, so it's been a little bit controversial recently because of this comedian's joke. One joke of this comedian. So the whole industry is facing some challenges now. Maybe you have heard about it. But anyways, we are just gonna watch one of his popular performances on the TV show 脱口秀大会. And we're gonna break it down. I'm not sure how much we can watch together because I'll be here streaming about 1 hour. So we're just gonna try to watch and break down as much as possible. Okay, and like I said, I'm gonna do a lot more streams on YouTube from today. So you're gonna see me. You're gonna see me a lot. Okay. Right. So Andoni says I like his accent. So could you tell? I just cracked my volume up too. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna raise the volume next time. Okay. Wait, can I just do it? Is it better? Is it louder? Okay, I'll figure it out. Okay. So anyways, so his accent. What do you think his accent is?
大家好，我是 House。好。我讨厌比赛。去年我就是鲁莽的挑战了小北，被草率的淘汰了。你们没在台上比过，可能确实不太了解。比赛啊，很容易输的。人生也是啊。过去的1年，我啥也没干，调整了1年的心态，尝试过瑜伽、冥想、心理咨询，终于我想通了，还是得赢。
Okay, can you tell what accent is his. I think it's pretty obvious. Maybe it's not that heavy like you usually hear, but it's definitely pretty obvious. Someone, Miho Capro 说山东 close. It's in the north. It's a northern accent for sure. But where? It's not really 山东. Somewhere more in the north. Anyone? 北方人 Yeah, Alexandra 说北方人 Yes, for sure, 北方人 Yeah, but which part of 北方? Which part of northern China? It's a pretty common one, actually. It's actually pretty similar with my Chinese accent when I speak in a more, relaxing way. He is actually my 老乡. We both come from Beijing. Yeah. So 东北 is a little bit too further north. It's actually 北京. Yeah, so he's from Beijing. So I think the most obvious feature in his accent is the 支持师 sound. Because in the north, in Beijing accent, people tend to just curl their tongue or just relax their tongue a lot. So we just raise the tip of our tongue and it's like this. So sure. What did he say?
大家好，我是 House。
大家好. And if you have watched my Beijing accent breakdown video before, for 大家, okay, let me write it here. So 大家 in a super standard way, we should say 大家, right? This tricky consonant 家. The tongue position and the shape of the tongue is actually pretty weird. But in the super fast speech, we just omit this one, and it's more like yeah. So 大家好, 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 instead of 大家好, 大家好, because 家 is a tricky consonant. Okay, so 大家好, 大家好, and the H is not that obvious. 大家好. So the H is basically just omitted. Oh, super short. 大家好, 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 大家好. Okay, so that's what you really heard. What he said. Let's listen to it again.
大家好，我是 House。
Oh, actually, his J was kind of there, was still kind of there.
大家好，我是 House。
Okay, so 大家好, 大家好, 大家好. There's a super short, quick 家 there. Yeah, but you will hear Beijing people say 大家好, 大家好. So we just completely omit the J sound. 大家好. And we just change the pitch a little bit to let people know that we are saying hello everyone. Okay, so 你好 is just hello, you good, right? Hello, I hope you are good. And 大家好 is when you are talking to a group of people, you say hello everyone, and that is 大家好, okay? Or 大家好, 大家好. Okay? And so this is a super common opening line when you want to greet your audience. So 大家好，我是谁谁谁. So like he said, 大家好，我是 House. And you can see the text on the picture. 大家好，我是 House. Good. Milky. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Right. So I know the northern accents can be confusing to a lot of people if you don't listen to a lot of different northern accents. Um, it definitely can be challenging to really differentiate them. Because I see a lot of now for non-native, Mandarin learners, even for Chinese natives, I just noticed that southern people can't really differentiate Beijing accent from Dongbei accent. So the Beijing Mandarin versus northeastern Mandarin, um, and or Shandong, the Shandong accented Mandarin. Um, it's pretty interesting actually. Yeah. Um, that take me as an example. So to me, to English natives, it may be obvious to you to distinguish, say, Canadian accent and American accent, right? Or British accent, British English accent versus Australian English accent, or even Australian accent versus New Zealand accent, right? I don't know how you feel about it, but to me, American accent is pretty obvious. But all the other, because I've been to Australia, and to me it just sounds a little bit like British accent, and I'm not sure, what the real difference between them is. Um, yeah, but I'm just trying to let you understand. It's definitely challenging for non-natives to differentiate different accent, especially when they are super close. Mm. And Harbin, people in Harbin actually speak pretty standard Mandarin compared to Jilin and Liaoning. Yeah. So there are three provinces in Dongbei, in northeastern China, right? And Harbin is the capital of Heilongjiang. It's in the most north, but actually they speak the more standard Mandarin for some reason. Yeah. Yeah. Uh, Anyways, I have noticed Guangdonghua speakers have a strong accent when speaking Putonghua. Yeah, so Guangdong Cantonese accented Mandarin it is pretty obvious. Because the accent, the two dialect or languages, whatever, are more distant, I guess. So the difference between the two sound systems, uh, it's just more. So yeah, that's definitely more obvious. Okay. Anyways, what else? Ashley said I listed a lot. I listed to a lot of Beijing radio on the Google extension. I think I listened the most to Beijing radio. Yeah, yeah. And when you watch a Chinese TV show, usually the actors or the actresses speak pretty standard Mandarin. But because a lot of them studied and worked in Beijing, as the culture center of China, so they may acquired a little bit Beijing accent too, especially actors. Yeah, so you are more likely to listen to more northern, especially Beijing Mandarin accent more in the TV shows. But I'm happy that there are a lot more TV shows featured different accents, especially the southern accent. So I think that's good, because that's more like what you are gonna hear when you really go to China, because you are gonna you're just gonna hear different accents. And that's a good thing. How does the Taiwan accent fit in? Is it more similar to Southern accent? Yeah, for sure. Actually, the Taiwanese accent is super similar to Fujian accent, because it's just the two sides of the Taiwan Strait. So their Mandarin accents are super similar. Because I just talked to a Chinese teacher from Fujian, and I thought she's from Taiwan, because it's super Taiwanese, and because that makes perfect sense, because the languages, the dialects are pretty much the same. Yeah, so the accent, I think I'm gonna make a video talking about this, because I think this is definitely something that needs to be more explained. Yeah, so anyways, this Chinese stand-up comedian is from Beijing. Okay, and we can see the text here, 说脱口秀. So how long has he been doing stand-up comedy? Can you tell? Reading quiz. How long is it? How long has he been doing stand-up comedy? 他说脱口秀说了多长时间了？ Hoken. Yeah. Anthony says, I want to have a standard accent. Which is the accent that you recommend the most to me? I recommend you to join my pronunciation course. That's where I teach standard Mandarin. So in Taiwan, it's called 国语, and in mainland China is 普通话, the standard Mandarin. Because the reason you want to learn standard Mandarin is because it's the accent, or whatever they call the pronunciation system, that differentiates the most sounds. Because in a lot of dialects, you don't really differentiate some certain sounds. Typically like 吱吱吱 versus 吱吱吱, or in Cantonese maybe 吱吱吱 versus 叽叽叽, and in Fujian or in Hokkien, the F versus H are now differentiated, and also the N versus NG. So there are a lot of sounds that are now differentiated in dialogue accents, but in the standard Mandarin, they are differentiated. So that way, if you practice standard Mandarin 普通话, you'll be able to perceive and pronounce the sounds more clearly. Unless you have a certain group of Chinese natives to communicate to, then you can just work on one specific accent. But if you don't have a specific accent to learn, I definitely would suggest you to learn 普通话, the standard Mandarin, or 国语 in Taiwan. So Milky said 4年6个月. Right, exactly. So 4 years and 6 months. 4年6个月. Okay? So it's pretty long in the Chinese stand-up comedy scene. Okay. Anyways, so this is a short introduction. 大家好，我是 House. 大家好，我是 House. Okay, let's see what else he said. Sorry. Is it too loud?
我讨厌比赛。
All right, a very emotional opening. What does he say? 我讨厌比赛. Anyone can know the words here? You can tell the attitude he has, right? So at least is it positive or negative vibe. You can hear, you can feel. There's a delay on the YouTube, so I'll need to wait a little bit. Wait for your answers. Yes, I noticed that Taiwanese people pronounce shi, si, xi so similar. Yeah, exactly. I dislike something. Yeah, good. So 讨厌 I don't like. I hate. 讨厌 because it dislike you can say I 我不喜欢 but 讨厌 is like you really hate something. 讨厌 and 比赛 so 比赛 can be any kind of games, competition, match. They're all 比赛 in Chinese. So 比赛恨的意思 right? 恨 is even more right, but yeah, 讨厌 is basically translated as I hate something. 讨厌 I'm really annoyed by something. I really don't like something. 讨厌比赛. Okay, so this TV show is actually like a competition. Although I know it's weird to have a competition between stand-up comedians, right? Because they can have very different styles and different kinds of jokes, and they focus on very different topics, right? But it's a show, and if it's a competition, it definitely attracts audience attention, I guess. And people care about the result or whatever, so it's just more fun to watch. That's my theory. Okay, so anyways, he says 我讨厌比赛，我讨厌比赛. Of course, you can say anything like 讨厌 something. I like to use this example, but I know it's weird to a lot of people. But this is true. This is real. Like I really cannot stand it. So you can see 我讨厌鱼头. 鱼头. Okay, I hope you know 鱼 is fish, right? And 头 is head. Yeah, so fish head is something I really hate. I cannot stare at it. I cannot look at it because I just cannot stand the eyes. Yeah, this is something that I just cannot stand. So 我讨厌鱼头. And of course, you can also say 我讨厌 do something. And so 比赛 actually is a verb and a noun. So you can say I hate to compete with others, or I hate playing a game, playing a match. So you can say 讨厌 something or 讨厌 doing something. Both are correct. Okay, so House says 我讨厌比赛. He hates competition. Although he's in this show and he has to compete with other comedians. Right, so this is a pretty strong opening line. Right, so yeah, I saw some correct answers. 我讨厌比赛，我讨厌的联系。联系是啥？我讨厌 yeah 鱼头 fish head. Yeah, weird stuff. Anyways, let's keep watching.
去年我就是鲁莽地挑战了小北。
Okay, so that's a pretty advanced sentence because of some of the words he used. So 去年我就是 so 就是 here doesn't really have a specific content meaning. It's like when you speak English, it just just. So sometimes it doesn't really mean only, right? It's more like a filler word, or to emphasize like exactly that, not something else. Okay, so last year 去年我就是
挑战了小北。
Okay, so what did he do last year? So here is a pretty advanced adjective and also adverb. So all the adjectives in Chinese can, or a lot of adjectives can change to adverb as a modifier for a verb. So 如 both of the characters are with the third tone, 鲁莽. And if you take my pronunciation course, and if you pay attention to pronunciation, especially tones, you would know here we don't say 鲁莽 because that's weird. That's not comfortable to pronounce. And we would change the first third tone to a second tone, right? So we will say 鲁莽. Sorry, and wrong pinyin here. 鲁莽 ang, right? 鲁莽 eng will be 猛 and that's a completely different character syllable. Okay, 鲁莽. So 鲁莽 means you don't think a lot. You don't think through, and you just go do something without thinking about it. So basically, what is the reckless, right? Reckless, like you don't think about it, you just do something impulsively, and you probably regret it afterwards. So that is 鲁莽. Okay, so we can say 他很鲁莽. 他很鲁莽. In that case, in that sentence, he is reckless. Then it's an adjective, right? But here, with this particle 的, okay, this 的, and before is the adverb, and then is the verb. So you do something blah 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 li. So reckless can just switch, can just change to adverb here. So, and the 挑战 is another. Anyone knows it? I'm not sure which level it is, but if you like the word challenge, you probably have learned it yourself. Challenge. Okay, so it's a verb and it can also be a noun, just like before, the 比赛. Okay, so someone A challenged B, okay, and has done. So we have the particle here, complete particle here. 挑战了 B. Okay, so in his case, he said 我去年. So he omitted the subject 我, right? But we know is I challenged 小北. Obviously, is another stand-up comedian. And how did he do it? Recklessly. 鲁莽的 right, 小北 author, 小北是人. 小北 is another competent in that show, another stand-up comedian. So he said 我鲁莽的挑战了小北. And so we can guess what the result is, right? 鲁莽的挑战了小北，
被草率的淘汰了。
Alright, and then 被草率的淘汰了。So what do you think this sentence means? We already know I challenged 小北 recklessly. Oh, what a word. Recklessly. And then what happened? So another the particle here, right? So when we see this the, we know after it is the verb. And before is something. Adjective. Oh, a little bit. Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think happened? 他输了 Very good. Author said 他输了. And here is another pretty. It's not really complicated. It's just a special sentence structure. This 被. So when we see 被是什么意思? So who 被草率的淘汰了? We see the verb here, right? But what is the subject? So 他输了 is just he lost. Subject, verb, pretty straightforward, right? But with this 被 is the passive sentence. So like I hit him, and he is hidden by me. So he is hidden by me is a passive sentence, right? So here is the same. So when you see 被, it's basically you be down and buy something. Okay? And the down in this case is this 淘汰. Eliminate in a competition or in a game. Okay? So it's not that I eliminate something, but I was eliminated in the game, in the show. Okay? So we would need to use this. Be eliminated. We will need this 被. So the subject here is still 我. Okay? So 我被草率 somehow, okay, 淘汰了. So the main meaning is just I was eliminated. And it has happened. So we need the 了 there. And also this 草率 is more like carelessly. Like I didn't think it through, and it just happened so fast. So like everything is more like vaguely, carelessly. Yeah. By me, he will be eliminated. So it's not will be, because it has happened. And for a completed action, usually we need this 了. But note, it's 了is not a past tense marker. If a teacher tell you 了 is a past tense marker, please run away. Okay? It's very wrong, because there are a lot of sentences about past events or some past facts that don't use 了. Okay? So just when there's a verb, when there's a real action that has a clear end point in the timeline, like you know when it was done and it was finished, we will use the 了 with the verb. Okay? And this 了 is probably the most complicated particle, or just a grammatical character, grammatical word that we use so much in the Chinese language, but it just has so many fundamental uses. So you will see it everywhere. But a lot of Mandarin learners would find it super challenging to decide if they should use it. And this is exactly one of the most grammatical particles or grammatical categories that we are gonna walk you through, and we are gonna clarify it for you in my 2 months Mandarin speaking boot camps that start on June 5th. So it's 2 weeks away. So there are 2 levels. So one is the beginner intermediate level speaking bootcamp, where we handpicked like all the very fundamental sentence structures. So we don't teach you noun or adjectives. Like, it's just ridiculous when I watch the video clip of a CI teacher, whatever, a teacher just spent 3 minutes to ask the student to guess what 同学 means. And 同学 is just classmate. It takes 1 second or less than 1 second to let the student know what it means. And usually nouns, especially at the beginner or to intermediate level, the nouns don't confuse students so much. There are definitely nouns and adjectives are pretty straightforward. But what confuse students are sometimes verbs, because there can be different structures within the verb, the 2-syllable verbs, and also the particles, the structure particles, and the grammatical words. That's something you should spend more time working on them and figuring out how to use them properly. And because they will really impact the whole sentences that you're gonna say, that you are gonna use to communicate with the Chinese natives. So that's definitely something you should take more time to work on. And in my 2 months Mandarin speaking bootcamp, we are gonna help you work on the sentence level. I think this is just missed out in a lot of Mandarin learners who maybe self-taught, or you just consume a lot of materials online. But I think there are definitely some fundamental sentence structures that you need to work more on. And first thing, you need to have a clear explanation of it. And this is what I explained in my recent video. The explicit knowledge should be the first step for adult learners. Okay, if you're kids, if you have time, you can just acquire the language through massive input. But if you want to learn the language in a more effective way, you definitely need the explicit knowledge. And there are a lot of information and misunderstandings throughout the internet. And that's not ideal. That actually wastes a lot of people's time. So I hope this Mandarin speaking bootcamps that I'm gonna launch soon will help you really learn the language in a more effective way, if not the most effective way. But I believe it's gonna be a lot more effective and sufficient, because we'll also offer daily drills for you, where you can really use the core content of that day in different topics, talking about different topics, or to use it in different contexts to really drill, to hone, and eventually to internalize the sentence pattern, the sentence structures, or the uses of some unique Chinese grammatical categories, like complements that we use so much, and some sentence structures that may be translated in English pretty much the same, but there are definitely something different, very different, and you would hear Chinese natives use it a lot. And you, ideally, eventually, you will use it yourself properly and naturally without thinking about it. And that can only be achieved with targeted exercises, drills that we have designed in our Mandarin speaking boot camps. So I'm really excited for the boot camps, and you can just see a lot more details and information about it on my website. The website just has a huge updates, and I really like how it looks now. And so if you are interested, please check it out. It's ritachinese.com. ritachinese.com. You can also find my pronunciation course there. And we're going to have another pronunciation bootcamp as soon as in September. So in a few months. I am going to make some videos, long form or short videos, to show you the result. Like I cannot express how happy I am when I listen to all the students' improvement. Like it's just amazing. It's just 3 months, and how big difference it can make. So we're gonna have pronunciation bootcamp in September. But before that, in June, in July, we're gonna have the Mandarin speaking bootcamps, where we help you work on the sentence output, which is basically what you when you really how you really use the language, right, to communicate with people. And that's how you really think in Chinese. And when you use the language, you don't really need to think about it. That's when you can really think in Chinese. Are you with me? Like I hope I'm making sense here. Yeah, but anyways, you'll see more details about the boot camps. Right. So back here, so he is basically saying that I challenged Xiao Bei, which is another stand-up comedian, a very brilliant one, recklessly, and then I just eliminated briefly, quickly, carelessly, because I didn't really prepare for it. I was not ready for it. I just made a bold decision, and I was eliminated. Not surprisingly, right? Right. So this is basically what he is saying.
你们没在台上比过，可能确实不太了解。比赛啊，很容易输的。人生。
All right, let's listen to it again. So I got eliminated.
你们没在台上比过。
All right. So here, another super useful particle here. 过. Anyone knows? When do you use it? When do you use it? So sometimes we use 了, but sometimes we use 过. What is the difference? 过. 你们没在台上. Okay, so 台 here, he is referring 舞台. So 舞 as in 跳舞, dance, right? But basically all kinds of stage, including stand-up comedy stage, you can say 舞台, 台, for performance actually. 台. So 在台上 on the stage, 在台上 on the stage. So 你们没在台上比过. Past some action. Did he call him old? No. 过 doing it right now. Really? Anyone else? Going. Anyone? Oh, Arthur. I recklessly challenged Xiao Bei in the competition and was quickly eliminated. How I would translate. Yeah, that's a good translation. Yeah, you nailed it. Good. Okay, so now what is this? 你们没在台上 Oh, wait more. 你们没在台上比过. What is he saying? 你们没在台上比过。I'm trying. Yeah, Milky. Keep trying. Anyone else? 没有去过。Yeah, that's close. Very close. Okay, so the core sentence structure here is 你们没 blah 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 verb 过。Okay? Have the experience. Norman, have the experience. Good. So that is 过, right? So 过 is that you have done something before. You have the experience in your life, right? And what is this? It's a negation. So what is the negation for have done something? We didn't compete on stage. Close. No chefs here. Close. But it's not that we didn't compete on the stage yesterday or last month. I know it 过 can't explain. It can explain. It can. I promise you, it can. Especially the negation. The negation is actually easier to be distinguished. So, okay, I'll just tell you, okay? So, 没 blah 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 verb 过 means someone has never done something. Okay? So, someone in this sentence is 你们, right? So, you have never done something. Never done something. So that's when we use this particle 过，没做过，没比过。So have never done what? 你们没在台上比过。What is the verb? This verb 过 here. We haven't competed before. Good. Wow, that's a good name. 现在如切如磋如琢如磨。That's a long name. Yeah, but yeah, you are correct. 没比过 means have never competed ever before. Okay, so now House, he is talking to the audience like you have never competed on a stage. That's what he is saying. Okay, 你们没在台上比过。So here 比 we have seen the character where? In this word, right? So 比赛 is a noun, games, match, and it can also be used as a verb. But this is the verb plus object kind of verb. So this 比 is actually the verb. And 赛 is the noun, is the game. So compete a game. Okay, so that's actually what the structure of the verb really is. And this is something you need to pay attention to. So compared to nouns, adjectives, things that are more fixed, that are not so confusing, verbs are something you want to pay more attention to because the structures can be different and those would affect the sentences you are gonna say because you need to know what is the real verb and what is actually the object or the noun following it. Okay, so here 比 we know 比 is actually the actual verb here. So you have never competed. And we know, so this is the verb, but different from English, the place, where did the verb happen? What does the action take place? The place goes before the verb, right? So this is the place adverb. And in Chinese, adverb always goes before the verb. Remember this, okay? So the adverb always goes before the verb. So here we don't say 比过在台上, although it feels right in English, right? But in Chinese we say 在台上比过, and it's a negation. So 你们没在台上比过，你们没在台上比过。Okay, so that's definitely something different, and that would decide how your Chinese sounds to native speakers. Yeah, so the word order is very different in Chinese. All right, so let's see what happens next. So 他说你们没在台上比过。
可能确实不太了解。
Let's
去年我就是鲁莽的挑战了小北，被草率的淘汰了。你们没在台上比过。
Okay, he just said it super fast. 你没在台上比过。Okay, so the standard way to say it is 你们没在台上。Okay, let's mark it. 你们 The neutral tone is tricky too. We just spent weeks in our pronunciation bootcamp to help the students to get a hang of the neutral tones, because actually there are several ones. They are not one tone or one pitch. The neutral tones are pretty flexible in Chinese, depending on the previous tone. So the neutral tone can be tricky. So again, you can check out my pronunciation course /bootcamp in the future. As soon as in September, we're gonna do another pronunciation bootcamp, 3 months, and you will definitely improve your Chinese pronunciation a lot. I'll show you in some videos. Okay, so 你们没在 So a couple of compound vowels, you wanna pronounce them clearly too. 你们没在台上. So in natural speech, we don't actually say 上. We don't really say a super clear fourth tone here. We just say 上, a neutral tone. Okay? So 台上, 你们没在台上比过. Okay, so in the super standard way, you can say 你们没在台上比过. But that sounds pretty robotic. That doesn't sound like a real human saying, talking to people. Okay, so the neutral tones, and also we change the speaking rhythm with the stressed syllables and unstressed syllables, and which is a whole course in my Finding Your Mandarin Voice courses, the training plan. So that actually, the speaking rhythm actually changes a lot in natural speech. So he said, 你们没在台上比过，你们没在台上比过，你们没在没。So 没 is a negation. So that may be stressed a little bit more than others. 你们没在台上，你们没在台上。So 在 is just a preposition to introduce the place. So it's not that important, and we don't want to emphasize it, right? And 台上can be a keyword in the sentence, because you want to emphasize you have never performance or compete on the stage. So on the stage, being on the stage can make a difference, right? So 在台上 is something you can emphasize a little bit more. Okay, 你们没在台上比过. So 比 is the verb, and you cannot unstress it. Okay, and then 过 比过, and also that depends on if you want to emphasize you have ever done something, you have never done something. Right, the tone may be different. So you can stress or, not so stress the 过, depending on your needs for expression. So anyways, you can say 你们没在台上比过. That's a more robotic way, but very clear way to say the sentence. Or you can also say 你们没在台上比过. 你们没在 So this is basically mostly omitted, right? 你们没在台上比过. Especially in Beijing accent. Actually, sometimes we just keep the and just skip the rest. 你没在 and the next syllable starts with a M. So that's convenient. We can just say this as a M here. Okay? Who cares the vowel, right? Just and that's it. 你没在台上比过。你没在台上比过。Okay? And that way we can also say this more quickly. 你没在台上比过。你没在台上比过。But also make sure the tones are on point. Okay, so the neutral tone is neutral tone. The neutral tones are neutral tones. They are different animal. But the keywords tones are definitely something you want to make sure they are properly pronounced. And I think that will affect your overall pronunciation or the impression that you will give to native speakers. So try to make the tones as correctly as possible. And there's a whole system to train your tones from scratch, or no matter how long you have learned Chinese, you can always improve and reform a habit for your Chinese tones and pronunciation in my course, in my Find Your Mandarin Voice course, especially the boot camp. The boot camp worked really well, and yeah, I just can't wait to share more about it. The results are amazing. Yeah. Okay, so 你没在台上比过，你没在台上比过。Let's listen to it again.
可能确实不太过。你没在台上比过。
Yeah. So he said 你没在台上比过。So he kind of emphasized this 过 here, because he wants to. You have never done this. 比过，你没在台上比过。Okay, so we can hear that syllable is stressed more than others. Okay.
可能确实不太了解。
Okay, 可能确实不太了解。可能确实不太了解。Okay, so 不太 I'm not sure if you have learned it or if you have ever used it. 你们用过吗？用过不太吗？ I think 不太 is super common in spoken Chinese. 不太了解，可能确实不太了解。So 可能 maybe probably 确实 indeed. You have never competed on the stage, so you probably maybe it's possible. Indeed. I don't know if it sounds if it makes sense in English. But in Chinese, you can use maybe and indeed in the same sentence. 可能确实 and 不太了解. So 不太 is something we not really good. So no chefs here. Good. So 不太 is not really. So usually it's used with some adjectives, right? So not really expensive. The weather is not really hot today. I'm not really tired. Things like that. So 我不太饿。今天天气不太热。Weather is not really hot. Not so hot today. 今天天气不太热。And also, some of the verbs in Chinese can be used with this 不太, or there's a whole set of this kind of degree adverb in Chinese. And we're going to walk you through most of it, the most used ones, in the first week of our 2 months Mandarin speaking bootcamp, the beginner intermediate level. And it's starting on June 5th. So if you are interested, you can join on readerchinese.com. We have limited slots because we want to guarantee the result. The bootcamp format definitely works, but we want to guarantee the result of the students in the 2 months. So, if you are interested, if you can dedicate the next 2 months into improving your speaking fluency and also accuracy, you definitely want to join. And our teachers, our instructors are current Ivy League school teachers and or former Ivy League school teachers. And one of them actually trained me 11 years ago when I started working for Harvard Beijing Academy. It's a Harvard University's Chinese summer school in Beijing. So I think we prepared everything that you would need to improve your speaking as soon as possible and effectively. So check it out on readuschinese.com. Okay, looking forward to meeting you or seeing you, because I know I'm gonna see at least 20 students now since the course launched. I'm looking forward to meeting you or seeing you in the boot camps. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be amazing. Okay, so like I said, a set of verbs can be used with this degree adverb 不太, not really. So what kind of verbs? Here, what is the verb he used here? 可能确实不太了解. 了解 Anyone knows? 美国现在不太热. Vlogando and Portugal.com. I'm not sure if I am pronouncing it correctly, but hello, hi, 你好. You probably don't understand well. Good. So 了解 is like you know of something, and you understand something. 了解. So I don't really know it well. I don't understand it well. You probably don't know much about it. In this case, is competing on the stage. So that's why he says 可能确实不太了解. 可能确实不太了解. Okay, so though 了解 is a verb, it can be used with 不太 here. So basically, the verbs that it's not a real action that in real life you do something, but more about your mental activity. So understand, to know, to hope, to look for something. So verbs like that can be used in the same structure as adjectives in Chinese. Okay, so in this case, I don't know it so much. I don't really understand it. You can say 不太了解，不太了解。
比赛啊，很容易输的。
All right, let's listen to it again.
你们没在台上比过，可能确实不太了解。比赛啊，很容易输的。
Okay, 你们 once again, 你们没在台上比过 ，super fast. 你们没在台上比过，你们没在台上比过，可能确实不太了解，可能确实不太了解，可能确实不太了解。You probably don't really know much about it. Indeed. So what? What you don't know? So this is actually one sentence.
很容易输的。
比赛啊，很容易输的。Okay, so the subject or the topic of the sentence is 比赛, as we already know, right? The game, match, competition, 比赛. So 比赛怎么样? How is game? What's about game? 比赛很容易. Another super common degree adverb, 很, right? It's probably the first one you all have learned, 很. So 很 what? Anyone knows? 容易很容易输的。Very what? Easy. Good, Milky. Yeah. Very easy, right? So it's very easy. Game is very easy. Easy what? Someone said 他输了, right? Before. So he lost. So 输 is lose a game, lose a competition. So that is 输. Okay? And actually, here he also used, let me change the color. He also used a different structure. 是 blah 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 输的. So the to emphasize it's really easy. It is easy. It's not difficult. It is easy. It happens easily. Whatever however you want to translate it. So it's super easy to lose in a competition or in a game, basically. Okay, so 很容易输的. This is so in English it's gonna be translated in a pretty different sentence, right? So you can say you can lose in the game easily, super easily, right? That's the word order you will say in English, but in Chinese it's a very different word order and structure, right? So things like this is what we want to help you to master and to really internalize through the efficient drills every day, Monday through Friday, to help you really internalize this. So when you want to express yourself, when you want to talk about, fundamental or basic meanings in your mind, you don't really need to think about it because you already do all the drills and you already internalize the patterns as your language skills. And you can just talk about it in Chinese correctly and fluently. So we are going to help you work on the sentence level in our speaking bootcamp. Okay, but if you want to improve your pronunciation, Chinese pronunciation and tones, and to sound more naturally, not like a robot, that's something we're going to help you in the pronunciation course, especially the pronunciation bootcamp, which is going to be in September, as soon as in September. But these speaking bootcamp are going to start in 2 weeks. So if you are interested, you definitely want to join now. The slots are very limited. Okay, let's see.
人生也是啊.
Okay, so I guess the last sentence of today is already 1 hour and 20 minutes. Okay, man, I didn't realize I'm so talkative, but for some reason when I do live streams, I just keep talking, and I think I can just keep talking forever if I don't stop myself. Yeah. Anyways, the last sentence of today is 人生也是啊. So this is continuing that sentence where he said you can lose in the competition easily, right? 比赛很容易输的. 比赛很容易输的. So he's just saying something obvious, but that's just a joke. I don't know if you find it funny, but the audience laughed, so I guess it worked. So games can be lost easily, and people's life is the same. So here he says 人生也是啊. 人生也是啊. So in English you may say life too, like me too, right? So me too is 我也是, and life too. Life is the same. You can just say 人生也是啊. 人生也是啊. So is life, or so does life. So no matter what verbs it is, we need a verb here in Chinese. Okay, because like I said, in English you say me too, right? So we don't have a verb there. But in Chinese, the structure is different. We always need a verb there. So the easiest one is 是. So 也是 as well too. So 是, this is something I want to emphasize in this last sentence. So 人生也是啊, life is the same. Life too. So life can be lost easily, or you can lose in life easily. Yeah. 人上也是啊. I got it with my left definition. My what? People all will get this. 人生也是啊. So here 也是 is still talking about this. So losing easily. This whole thing is what he's talking about. So first, it's to a game. In a game, you lose easily, and in the life, it's the same. You lose easily. So it's the whole thing that is to 也是啊. Okay. See, so you definitely want to look or read or listen to it more closely when you really want to make authentic content like this as your learning materials. There are actually a lot that can be broken down and to practice more. Because I guess it's not that easy, it's not difficult. You know, you can pick up some words, you can kind of guess what it means or what he's talking about, right? But if you want to use it yourself, you want to talk like him or like a Chinese native, there are some more fundamental sentence structures that you need to be aware of, or the grammatical categories that you want to be aware of first, because that way you would be able to know what you should pay attention to, instead of, you know, just consume everything and probably be overwhelmed by everything, because you don't really see the patterns behind it, or the fundamental sentence structures that lay in various sentences, right? So again, that's something we want to walk you through, and we want to help you do the drills to really internalize the patterns, so you can use the correct, natural, authentic word order and the sentence structures, and the correct verb complements, directional complements, resultive complements, and everything in your Chinese speaking, in your Mandarin speaking, so you can really use the Chinese language to express your thoughts and your ideas. Okay? Your mic is quite I'm trying to shut on my microphone. Yeah, but I'll fix this next time. Okay. So just try to volume up. Try to hear me. Actually, I'm just gonna stop here. Yeah, because we just watched a super short clip of house stand-up comedy, and I hope you have learned something, because there are definitely more that we can talk about. And like I said, I'm gonna do more streams on YouTube, so stay tuned. Maybe turn on the notification bell, the little bell, so you will receive notifications whenever I'm streaming here. Okay. So it's probably on a Sunday, but actually next weekend I'm gonna go to Stanford University for a Chinese teaching grammar conference next weekend. But I'll do stream on the West Coast in the US. So, and maybe some work day next week. Yeah, we'll see. Because, like I said, doing stream is so much easier for me. So I'll do it more. And just stay tuned to more of my streams. Okay? And if you are ready to improve your speaking, to really speak or chat like a Chinese native, check out my website, readachinese.com, and you will see all my courses. So we just wrap up the pronunciation bootcamp. It was amazing, and I can't wait to share all the students' result with you all because it just worked. It worked perfectly. Okay, and we're gonna do the speaking bootcamp in 2 weeks. Okay, so just check it out, and I'll see you soon. I hope you have some takeout out of this takeaway out of this stream, and I'll see you in the next stream or maybe next video. We'll see. Yeah. 下次见。